We are talking to Charl du Plessis today, and Charl, you helped me remember a specific day today which I almost forgot. What is that?
Shame, Etienne. Unfortunately, it's the memory of 9/11,
Yes.
the day the Twin Towers were taken down.
Yeah.
It was a very sad time, especially in the world of, I suppose, the loss of lives. But myself being a past firefighter and still involved in the KMIA International Firefighters, 342 firemen lost their lives on that day. It was a very sad day. There were firehouses where firefighters never came home, never to be seen again. The cup of coffee had got cold, their clothing, their boots, they were just never found. They never returned. There was no proof that they even belonged to the firehouse. And during that time, I met a firefighter by the name of Captain Bob Young, and he said, "Charl, I have something for you." He was a firefighter that was on pension.
Okay.
And in their language, the term was he was called in out of pension. And he was summoned to Ground Zero to support the lads who'd never come home. And I'm honored and privileged that he sent me his firefighter helmet that served at Ground 11 for my collection, having been a past firefighter.
This is it, what you've
So
got here.
this helmet belonged to him, and it served in the dust and the bitter tears at 9/11.
I see a lot of memorabilia. Obviously, these things mean so much more to you than just the item. It's the history that comes with it.
Of course, Etienne. Having been a firefighter, and unfortunately we've just recently lost 3 firefighters in a building in Johannesburg. They'll fix that building, they'll put it back together, but they'll never get those men back. And that's what's so sad when issues are neglected. Standards collapse, equipment, no money to service, that men are prepared to enter where angels fear to tread, with equipment that doesn't work, buildings that are not maintained, and yet they send our firefighters in there, and unfortunately we've lost 3 in South Africa. That's a great loss to those fire brigades. You don't just shake a tree and a fireman falls out.
Yeah.
And exactly the same as 9/11, there were 3,000 people lost their lives. It was a very sad day in the history of the world, let alone that of firefighters.
Absolutely. You've got more fire helmets here on top of your bar. Would you mind showing us?
Well, Etienne, Shane, the one on the top right is a genuine Merryweather from London. It's a 1914 brass fire helmet.
Okay.
The one on the left of it is also an old Bakelite. It was in fact my original first helmet when I was a young firefighter. And then on the very
You've got
left,
some firemen here as
well, there's just some paraphernalia to add to the atmosphere. And then that's a Kearns, which when I left the fire services in East London, that's the helmet that I left with.
Okay.
So there's of course a fire axe, and just an atmosphere of firefighters. It was an extremely passionate.
The axe behind the black bull.
Yeah, just a collector of all sorts.
We'll have to do another story with you one day, Charl, and then you can maybe just take us through your collection that you've got here. I had now just a glance, and wow, it's so interesting to myself. Where does this passion of yours come from?
Etienne, I enjoy history. I think man doesn't learn from history because they're not cautious enough to be guaranteed history will repeat itself.
Yeah.
And I can't believe we make the same mistakes. So I enjoy history. It tells us where we came from, hopefully where we are, and where we could go if we could just manage it. But yes, there's just an array of various items hailing from the Egyptian era, the medieval era.
I think we should just maybe give our viewers a glimpse of what our next episode is going to be about. I mean, you select one of the topics in your cabinet there.
Well, you're welcome. Come, let's have a look. Maybe the cabinet should be opened to give you an idea. But there's a range of Egyptian gods, from the Egyptian era. There's 60 of them. Each piece comes with a booklet, and it explains exactly what happened during that era. That's just an Egyptian collection. There's another parts collection of Egyptians, the artifacts that have been found in the pyramids. So again, with each piece. And there's just various items of interest.
I'm going to leave the viewers guessing of what we're going to show them next and not tell them today. Charl, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Etienne.
And thank you for just giving us a different perspective on 9/11. That's what a lot of people, thousands, are remembering,
Of course.
commemorating today.
Of course.
Not only in the United States, I think throughout the world.
Yes, of course, Eddie, and it's a threat to all of us,
Yeah.
you know, and as I said, the building in Johannesburg, they'll build it, but they're not going to replace the 3 men. And we take life for granted. It's just too easy to eliminate someone, irrespective of the consequence.
Yeah.
So today we remember, from the bottom of my heart, all the lives that were lost, but I'm very close to the firefighters and their families.
Charl du Plessis, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.